Hi, I'm Genevieve Achel from New Hampshire Theater Project, and I'm here on the set of An Inspector Calls, which is currently running at our theater right now. One of the questions that we actors get asked a lot, in fact, it's probably the most frequent question, is how do you memorize all those lines? Well, I think people want an easy answer, like there's some trick to it. But the honest answer is it takes a long time and it's hard work. If I'm in a play, I usually set aside 2 to 3 hours every day to work just on my lines. But you have to figure out what's the best way that you learn in order to make that time spent effective. I personally am a visual kinesthetic learner. So what that means is I have to really see the lines in my head in order to memorize them. Often I will retype the entire script and set it up on the page in a way that helps me remember, or I highlight it in different colors for the same reason, so that I visually picture it in my head as I memorize. I'm also a kinesthetic, which means I have to get it in my body and my bones in order to remember it. So I will usually take my dining room or my bedroom and rearrange the furniture so that it looks like the stage. And as I'm memorizing my lines, I move around as my character moves on the stage and memorize it that way. Once I know the lines pretty well, then I'll do things like go for long walks and say the lines while I'm walking. Again, for me, getting it into my body is the easiest way for me to learn. For those of you who learn by hearing, by listening auditorially, you have to find other ways to do that. I have some friends who record all their lines and then play them back over and over and over again. Others record the cue lines and then they practice with that. So you just have to find the way that works best for your learning style. The other thing is to figure out, should I learn it in chunks or should I try to learn it all together? It's best to work in chunks, but then to build on what you know. So for me, I would work on memorizing, say, pages 1 to 10. When I have that, then I go from pages 10 to 20, and then I go back and I work from pages 1 to 20. Once I have that down, then I work on the chunk of pages 20 to 30, then I go back and do 1 to 30, and so on until I come to the end of the play, however many pages that is. The other thing you can do is to ask your fellow actors to provide you with visual cues or verbal cues. Sometimes there's one line or a single word that we just for some reason have a block about and we can't remember it. So I have one friend who, she couldn't remember the name of her husband in the show, so she wrote that name on her hand. Nothing else, but just that name, which helped her prompt every time she had to say a line to him. I remember another show I was in where the other character had a sentence that started with why are you doing that or something, and she could not remember it. So I was a tree in this particular scene. So I would just stand with my arms up in the shape of a Y, and she'd look at me and remember her line. So we do a lot of tricks like that. But the bottom line is that there's no magic. It's hard work and it's discipline and it's time. This is a craft and you have to dedicate yourself to that craft. So thank you again. I'm Genevieve Achel from New Hampshire Theater Project, and thanks for helping us out with New Hampshire Gives.